Hello there, and thanks for joining me. My name's Chris Ellison, and I'm the marketing manager here at Westwood Motor Group here in Wigan. And once again, I've got something a little bit new for you. Introducing the Kia Proceed GT line. A large, kind of an estate car. Really, it's more of a shooting brake, so it's kind of part coupe, part estate car. And as you can tell, it's super stylish. Some of you may already be thinking, but it's a Kia. And it's my job here today to tell you why you should be choosing this instead of automatically thinking of something like a Mercedes or an Audi or a BMW, and probably saving yourself a few quid while you're doing so. So anyway, moving around the car, first things first, just the appearance. Obviously you can see that Kia are going for a proper upmarket look for the Proceed, and I'd say they've succeeded. You've got the signature headlights, which have got kind of 4 dots around a central spot. The grille on the front certainly means business. You've got alloy wheels, blacked out headlights. I don't know if you just noticed that, the wing mirror automatically extended out just as I walked towards it with the key in my hand. That's the kind of attention to detail that Kia have put into the Proceed. So if we move around to the back, we can have a look at it from behind. So again, straight away, it's a handsome looking car. And what you may find surprising is if we open up the boot here, there's a massive amount of space. A load cover there that intelligently moves out of the way. And this is one of my favourite features of this car already. The boot floor there, it's nice and flat, you've got loads of space there, but it's also subdivided into all these little compartments here. Look, locking wheel nuts. Little flap there, here. Even down the side there. It's completely covered in them. It's a great idea, because I don't know about you, but I do all kinds of things in my free time, and a lot of the things I keep in the car, and it's great just to be able to kind of keep them out of the way, keep them kind of compartmentalised. And I've not seen this feature in any other car apart from the Proceed, so thumbs up to Kia for coming up with that one. Okay, so again, you've got chrome accents around the exhaust. I've already pointed out the wheels, I've already pointed out the blacked out windows, and what I'm going to do, just because I can, is I'm going home in this one, and I'll give you a running commentary on my drive and talk through all the really exciting features that this Kia Proceed has, and to explain why, if you're looking down on it because of the badge, you're wrong. Anyway, see you in a moment. And here we go. While I'm getting myself comfortable in the Proceed, let's have a look at some of the features that are in the cabin here with me. First and foremost, I've got this lovely tactile steering wheel. I'm pretty sure it's leather. I really didn't check the spec sheet out before I set off, but it's nice and squidgy where it needs to be. It's got a bit of a perforated grip here, and it's slightly sculpted as well, so it feels nice in the hand. It's covered with a mix of glossy black buttons and metal trimmed buttons, and it's got an overall feeling of quality, so you can't fault it there. You can't see it there, but there's a start-stop button, which of course I used to start the car with. Sitting proudly in the middle of the dashboard here. There's a great big widescreen touchscreen there, currently displaying sat-nav information, but obviously your mobile phone, the DAB radio, and a few other features of the car can all be accessed via that, as well as via buttons on the steering wheel. Moving further down, there's the climate control there, got dual zone climate control, fan speed, automatic, all that kind of stuff. A little bit further down, I've got heated seats and even a heated steering wheel. The buttons for those are there. Obviously it's a glorious hot day, I don't need any of that right this second. Moving further down again, there's a glossy black cover which slides back, and There's two power sockets that take the standard cigarette style plug, and one in the middle that does USB. Currently my keys are in there. Moving backwards, we've got the automatic gear stick, you can see there. There's the usual options: park, reverse, neutral, drive, and of course I can put it in semi-automatic mode where I control the gears myself using the flappy paddles on the steering column. Obviously I can still use these to kick down the gears even when I'm in automatic mode, but for the most part I'll leave those well alone. To the right of the gear selector there's a row of buttons here, the most prominent of which says Sport. I think we can guess what that does. Then there's options to turn the parking sensors off and the traction control off, so no need for either of those just right this second. Moving further back, there's the electronic handbrake, and then just behind that a selector for the automatic hill control. So pretty standard in an auto, but neatly laid out and all readily accessible. There's another slide back panel here which reveals cup holders underneath, and then underneath the armrest there's another huge cubby, so plenty of space just for storing pretty much anything that you need to store. Okay, I've entered the motorway and I'm sat here just cruising nicely at 70 miles an hour, and I'm letting the cruise control take care of the acceleration for me. All I need to do is steer, nice and easy, and it's doing a magnificent job. I always use cruise control whenever I can anyway, even in my own car, so yeah, it does what it says on the tin. Okay, so yeah, I'm tootling along perfectly pleasantly. The Pro Seat feels great. It's I'm not having to do anything particularly interesting with it. I'm just sat here minding my own business in my lane, cruise control's active, and I'm happy. One of the things I am picking up though is, like so many cars with lane keeping warnings, the Pro Seat actually takes an active role in keeping me between the lanes. What I mean by that is that should I accidentally veer towards the edges of the lane that I'm in, the Pro Seat will take over and veer me back in. Obviously I'm not going to take my hands off the wheels to demonstrate it, that would be irresponsible and also illegal, so you'll just have to take my word for it. But when the Pro Seat is detecting that I'm not in the middle of the lanes, it'll actively steer me back into them. I can feel a little bit of pressure just on beneath my hands on the steering wheel, just nudging it back to the centre of the lines where it needs to be. Now, these are features that you'll find on an Audi or a Mercedes or a BMW. If you spec it up to have those features, typically you'll pay a premium for them. So it's really surprising that a brand that isn't from Germany, and in all honesty most people at the moment wouldn't regard as premium, it still has it, and it's just thrown in. And that's one of the things I really like about Kias. They're not really all that bothered that they're not a so-called premium brand. They build cars as if they are. The design shows that they care. The build quality, well, every Kia comes with a 7-year guarantee. That's how confident they are. They put them together with the care and the attention and the build quality of anything you'll find in Germany. They stack them full of the very latest technology, and then they sell them for way, way less than a Mercedes or a BMW or an Audi equivalent. If there was ever a reason to give a Kia a chance, that's it. One thing that might surprise you with the Pro Seat is how absolutely efficient the engine is. This is currently the 1.5 petrol version, and with a 1.5 petrol engine you wouldn't expect it to be all that quick. However, the stats say that this should be able to achieve 60 miles per hour in a little over 8 seconds, which is pretty respectable, especially for an engine that size, and it's not a small car either. That I've just put just £10 in it, and it's put the expected range up by about 80 miles, which is pretty good. So let's test that speed, shall we? Again, this is quite a quick road. Let's go for it. Okay, wow, now that was impressive. The Proceed had absolutely no problems getting up to speed there. Could feel it cycling through the gears quickly, could feel the surge of speed behind me, and yeah, for a car this size, with an engine this size, that was pretty good. So if you're expecting a car of this quality, with this amount of additional features and this amount of bells and whistles and technology, to have a compromise somewhere, I can tell you the compromise wasn't performance. Good luck finding it though. That little turn of speed pulling away from the junction there, that was assisted by sport mode. I sneakily pushed the button and didn't tell you just before accelerating off, but the difference is noticeable. It certainly put a smile on my face, let me tell you that. I mean, the Proceed isn't a sports car, not by any stretch of the imagination. However, it does move off the line pretty quickly. In fact, let's give it a go now. Got some red traffic lights, stick it in sports mode, and let's see where my right foot can take us. Boom. And that's actually pretty good. Off the line, very impressive. Again, this isn't a sports car, this is a motorway cruiser. This is a pack up your family, pack up your luggage, pack up everything else because it will fit in the back, and let's go on a long journey. But if you want to have a little bit of fun at the traffic lights, who am I to argue? Okay, quick in a straight line is one thing, quick all the way around a roundabout, that's another. Let's see how it feels. Okay, minor body roll. And that was actually alright. Was easing off ever so slightly just to retain the traction. Little bit of body roll, but that was, for a car this size, it's a long car, it's a heavy car, and it's not set up for interesting manoeuvres. So, you know what? Well done, Kia. With everything I've encountered so far, I'm struggling to see where Kia have cut any corners at all. And you know what? They haven't. While the Proceed's happy to have a little bit of fun with you if you want to put your foot down, the Proceed is definitely at its best when driven sensibly. As I say, this feels like a comfortable motorway cruiser. On paper, Kia reckons that you should get up to or maybe over 50 miles per gallon out of this. And it's quite possible. Modern engines are super efficient, and this is using all the tricks to get the fuel economy figures all the way up. You stop at traffic lights, the engine will cut off. Obviously it's got a decent automatic gearbox, so that'll take care of efficient shifting for you. And of course, it's only got a 1.5 engine, so although cylinder capacity doesn't mean as much as it used to in terms of performance, it certainly does make a difference when it comes to fuel economy. When you consider that the 1.5 engine that's in the Proceed here feels like it's delivering power like a 2-litre engine, why would you have a big block up front? Just as a comparison, my personal car, it's a similar size to this. It's a 2.2 turbo diesel. It'll get 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds, and it'll return, well, on average I don't quite manage 40 miles per gallon. On a long cruise I might get 50, but that would be all motorways. This 1.5 will get me to 60.2 of a second faster, and it'll return 50 miles per gallon doing it. That's how far cars have come on, and that's how far Kia has come on. This is a great car in anybody's money. And I tell you what, in terms of money, you will pay far less to have a great car if it's got a Kia badge on it than if it had a Mercedes badge on it. Just like a plucky underdog, they try harder. And you know what? They succeed. Just for the sake of clarity, what I was saying before when I was flying around the roundabout and I said I was easing off the throttle just to maintain traction. Now, that was more for my comfort than because the car was losing traction. Obviously, I've literally been driving this for a day. I'm not quite used to it yet. I'm not quite used to where the limits are, and I'm naturally cautious when it comes to things like that, especially when I'm in a car that's literally been driven by nobody else since new. Last thing I want to do is get back to work with a brand new car in pieces. So that was for more my comfort than anything else, and I wouldn't want you to misinterpret what I was saying is that the car isn't so good on the corners, because that is definitely not the case. Okay, so we're moving back to the natural habitat of the Kia Proceed, which is the motorway. This particular bend, I took the Toyota Corolla GR Sport around, and I'm flying around it a little bit faster than this because I'm feeling a little bit more confident in that long sweeping arc. And just for the sake of it, let's stick it in sport mode, because I did the same thing just yesterday in the other car. Oh yeah, onto the motorway, and I need to ease off the throttle because I was enjoying myself a little too much there. While I'm here enjoying the cruise control, it's probably worthwhile mentioning the sheer quality of the screen I've got in front of me here. This is kind of, if you imagine the like 16:9 aspect ratio that's perhaps on your TV at home, imagine that, but with another little square next to it as part of the same screen, so it's like super wide. So currently the wide bit of the screen is showing me a map, and the square bit of the screen is showing me a map as well. That's because I'm not using the sat nav. If I was using the sat nav, one part of that would be showing me directions, and the other bit would just be showing me a general map. The built-in sat nav on the Proceed is really good. The screen is really crisp and clear, and sometimes manufacturer built-in maps and sat nav, when you're not using Google Maps via Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, sometimes it can be a bit iffy with the manufacturer's own version. Well, this is actually alright. It's clear, and it just shows everything I want to, and it kind of dynamically adjusts itself depending on where I am and the speed that I'm going. So yeah, thumbs up for Kia, well done. Slow traffic, so let's assert myself in sport mode. Ooh, now that's pretty impressive. Stick it in sport mode on the motorway and put my foot down, and you get some shove. Like I said before, this car feels like it's really happy on the motorway. As you saw earlier on in the video, it's pretty good when it comes to getting off the mark quickly, but from 50 to 70 miles per hour, as we just saw there, it's also really competent. There is seriously no reason not to get this car, unless you really want something from Germany, and you'll be missing out, but that's your choice. So thanks very much for joining me on my adventure out in the Kia Proceed. Hopefully I managed to change your mind a little bit on whatever opinion you might have had on the brand, and if you already held the brand in high regard, then good for you. Hopefully I've shown that you were right. Hopefully you can see a little bit more of the dashboard here. Again, it's a great place to sit. The quality is just there, as hopefully you can appreciate, and this is a really good car. It just costs less than the equivalent vehicle from Germany. So obviously, as you can see, the front is a nice place to sit. Let's check out the back seats. And as you can see, it's no less comfortable in here. Despite the sloping roof, there's still plenty of room above my head. I've got acres of knee room here. The seats are comfortable. There's a bit of a vent there. Electric windows, which of course, as we discussed earlier, can be switched on and off via the driver's control panel. And what more do you really need? If you're carrying cups or you don't have 3 passengers in the back, there's a fold down armrest, and as you can see, the cup holders are in front, not behind, so you're not going to get your elbow stuck in them, as is the case on some armrests that you get in other cars. So again, another win for Kia. Okay, so all in all, I think you'll agree with me that the Kia Proceed is certainly worthy of your attention, and especially the GT line version that we have here, available either from our Wigan branch, where I'm standing, or our brand new Bolton branch, whichever's closest to you. We'll be happy to show you around this car and hopefully see you driving away in one in the near future. As ever, these things do tend to go out very quickly, especially when we produce a video. So if you're interested or you'd like to have a look around, make sure you come and see us and check it out for yourself while they're still here. Okay, so that's been a very brief look at the all-new Kia Proceed. Hopefully we'll get to see you in person so you can check it out for yourself. What more is there to say other than thanks very much for watching. My name's been Chris Ellison, this is Westwood Motor Group, and we'll see you very soon.